Hi, it's Denise. Do you want to highlight your company on my next episode of Standout? Click below. I'm Denise Summers, the host of Standout, the video series celebrating the successes of women business leaders and founders. Today we're joined by JoAnn Stoneberg of As the Planet Turns. Welcome, JoAnn. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you, Denise. I'm happy to be here.
So JoAnn, I understand you do past life regression and you go really deep with this practice and you do it differently than perhaps other practitioners do. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so the past life regression work I do is actually called deep memory process, but because that's not a common household name like past lives are, I do say past lives. So the work I do goes a little deeper. It's not just past life tourism, if you will, oh, I was the queen of whatever or the king of whatever, So I use past lives as a tool to heal our obstacles and our fears in this lifetime that get triggered by different events that we go through in life events. So it's utilizing that past life character as a third party to help us heal whatever's going on with us today. Now, I often get the question too of, do I have to believe in past lives? No, you don't, because we're using the imaginational brain, or the right brain, imaginational. So it's whatever the psyche creates for us to heal that part of ourselves that needs to be resolved from our past lives. So it's working on it from the mental, the emotional, the spiritual, and the physical. So it gets into any chronic illnesses, any emotional issues, and it really resolves it. And when we resolve those issues from our past lives that are carried forward from lifetime to lifetime into this lifetime, then we're not triggered so much. So
Right.
If I can give a quick example, fear of water, for example. And there's nothing in this lifetime that would explain why you would be afraid of water. It's like, no, I can't go in the water, like it's too deep, or, there's scary things in there, right?
Right.
Because you can't see it, right? So this is where you would go back to those past lives to resolve that issue, and then you wouldn't be so afraid to jump in the water anymore.
Okay. For one question I have is, for example, my mother almost drowned as a child, and I have always been afraid of the water and putting my head under the water and so on. And I know things can be passed down from generations. Would that be an example of something like that?
Yes, exactly. So we also carry our ancestors and our family stuff from parent to child, right, throughout our ancestors. So we're always living our family's lives as well. When we resolve any patterns of behavior, and I use the same technique in deep memory process that I was taught to utilize, going back to the ancestor where things that first started, that fear first started, or that issue, whatever it may be.
Right.
And you just look at family lines and issues, because we are part of our family. We carry that stuff around. When we let those things go, then all of a sudden we're able to really see who we are now moving forward. And this also just comes back to my clients, that are women in their 50s, having to resolve also the patterns of behavior that they're carrying around with their families.
Right.
So they can release those then.
Yeah. So would you say quite often when you talk about triggering, you can be in a situation and you're not necessarily really responding to that situation, you're responding to similar situations that have happened in the past that you're still carrying, and that colors or impacts the reaction you have in that situation? Is that...
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head there. Our environment and our situations that occur will trigger these reactions and behaviors and habits that we're carrying around.
Right.
And so when we realize that, then the person that we don't like for triggering that within us, we can say thank you to them for triggering that within us, so that we can resolve and eventually heal from that.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds fascinating.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for being on the show with us today, JoAnn. And where can people reach you if they'd like to get in touch?
So people can reach me at JoAnn, JoAnn, at astheplanetsturn.com for an email, or my website at astheplanetsturn.com.
That was JoAnn Stoneberg, and I'm Denise Summers, host of Standout. Hope you enjoyed these episodes, and please reach out to JoAnn. Thanks for joining us. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Remember, if you want someone to be a guest on our show, be sure to click on the link below. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe so you never miss an episode.